Good afternoon and welcome to Mike and the Hoss on Wolfeboro Community Television. I'm Mike Dene.
And I'm Charlie Hossack.
Charlie, we're in between the sports seasons, and our plan is to have a spring sports preview with all the coaches for Kingswood to come in and give us a little preview, which I'm looking forward to hearing from all of them. I think there's 7 sports this spring.
Yep.
Baseball, softball, lacrosse, boys and girls
lacrosse,
track, and then boys and girls tennis. I want to hear from the coaches. I want to hear what their expectations are.
Right. Yeah, realistic expectations.
Realistic ones.
Well, we're both coaches, and of course we'd like to win. But what do they have? What are they putting together? They're going through tryouts right now, and these student athletes are getting kind of they're assembling their teams and just seeing what they're looking for in a student athlete. I'm excited to find out how they think they're going to perform this year. But also, they all have visions as to the future. So if you get a freshman and you're going to develop them, I'm just excited to hear from the coaches.
And how they build their team.
Yes.
Are they just taking the 12 best athletes? Are they looking to fit in guys? And go back to the Miracle. We've seen Miracle on Ice in the movie.
Right.
That he wasn't looking for the best players; he was looking for the best team.
Right.
And I wonder if the coaches adopt some of that philosophy. And we're coaches, and we've put together teams before, and some have been more successful than others. So it's going to be interesting to talk to them.
I'm looking forward to speaking with the coaches.
We're also, today, when we come back, we're going to talk about some March Madness.
Yeah.
And Celtics, Bruins, NFL, Red Sox, and a few rule changes in MLB that we've been talking about a little bit here and there, and I'm looking forward to getting to those.
Some good stuff.
All right, so we'll be right back with March Madness. Welcome back to Mike and the Hoss.
Oh, we got a little March Madness going on. You a college basketball fan?
In March I am.
Yeah, me too. And March I am as well.
The March Madness is such an awesome time, and it's such a great promotional tool for college basketball.
Absolutely.
Because it gets even the people that don't even like sports get involved with March Madness, and it's a lot of fun. How's your bracket doing?
It's busted.
Okay.
Who do you got to win?
I have Duke to win.
Okay.
Zion is just a lot of fun to watch. He's obviously the most dominating player in college basketball, and I don't know, for some reason I probably pick Duke to win about 50% of the time.
Do you really? Yeah. I just for some reason I'm not a Duke fan, but never have been. I mean, Christian Laettner I liked way back when.
Oh, those good times. And Grant Hill, and Bobby Hurley.
That was fun, but I can't root for Duke, so I'm going with the Boilermakers. I'm going with Purdue.
Okay.
So I try to avoid the 1 seed, and I try to see what the next level is, and I listen to the pundits, and we'll see what they have to say, and kind of I have no reason why I selected Purdue, other than I'm going with Purdue.
At the time that we're doing this, we were talking about Virginia lost last year.
Yep.
They were a 1 seed and they lost to the 16th seed.
They did.
And at this moment in time, Virginia is down by 10.
Unbelievable. Could you imagine 2 years in a row if you're a Cavalier fan?
I think it's a fireable offense for the coach.
Yeah, I agree.
If you go in there as a 1 seed and then you roll up the tent when you get to March Madness.
Because they're playing G-Web, so.
Yeah, and these are teams that really theoretically shouldn't belong on the same court as these 1 seeds.
Right.
But that's why they play the game.
Yeah, see what happens. And obviously the entire country is rooting for G-Web.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you're always rooting for the underdog.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, good for them.
Definitely.
But one of the things that we have, I don't think we've touched upon necessarily college athletes making money, but March Madness generates millions, tens of millions, probably hundreds of millions
of dollars, yep.
How much do the college basketball players get?
Zero. Well, I should say zero, but most of them might get a scholarship.
Most of them get a scholarship.
Yeah. So they're getting a free education.
Yep.
They're getting housing. They're getting food.
Okay.
They're getting the opportunity to work on their craft to potentially play at the next level.
Okay. Now, the players that are 1 year and done, which is many of the top basketball players.
Probably most of them, right?
Are they getting an education?
Probably not. Not if they're going to the next level.
And they know that they're 1 year and done.
Right.
Are they taking the classes that are matriculating towards some sort of a degree?
I don't really know the answer to that question, but if
What's your best guess?
Based on no information, I would say probably not.
Okay. So should they be compensated?
That's an interesting. I mean, this is something we should talk about, which is why we're talking about it. Yeah. So I don't know if they should be compensated because technically they're amateurs. We don't pay amateurs, and are they being compensated? So even if they stay there for 1 year, are they being compensated with the opportunity to play college basketball, to receive a scholarship, to receive an education, whatever that's going to be, whether it's the basket weaving course they're taking or a high-level math course? And we do know, Mike, that some of these players do earn their degrees or go back and earn their degrees and are highly successful once their playing career ends.
Yes.
So I have a hard time saying that we should be paying college athletes.
Okay. So Mike Krzyzewski, Nick Saban, the top Urban Meyer, the top college coaches in sports are making $6, $7, $8 million, $10 million on the
millions
outside.
of dollars, sure.
Plus, they're getting, when Nike signs a contract with the team, the coaches are getting a piece of that. Any kind of money coming into the program, the coaches are getting a piece of that. Whereas nobody else is.
As well as the university.
As well as the university, yeah, as well as university. So is it right that these players are generating money for everybody around them? Right. And that the university is actually charging a premium to get access, to go to these March Madness games. It's not free.
Right. You're buying tickets.
You got to pony up some money.
Right.
So is it right that they're charging entryway to these games, the television contracts, and so on, where the people that are actually on the court, the product itself, is not getting compensated? And I guess where I'm coming from is that maybe they need to look at that. Does it have to be operated in the black as much as it is? Because it is so much, all profit, basically. Sure. There aren't any college programs that are, operating in the red.
Right.
Because they're not paying in their overhead for the players.
It's interesting, too. I mean, and one of the things, not to try to, I don't want to jump necessarily on your side, but what if this player were to get injured? So therefore, they may not have the opportunity to make the money that you're saying that they're making. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, though, is with the advertisement that the university is getting, that's giving, let's say, my child the opportunity to have exposure to these high-level programs and learning about these universities, and the money that's going there is going to help maybe, for their nursing program or their education program or build a new dormitory. So I think the other students that are not the Division I athletes are benefiting from the program. It's not just Coach Krzyzewski's pocket that's benefiting. I think the university as a whole.
I don't disagree with you. I think the university is benefiting from it, but is the academics benefiting, or is it just the athletic facilities? We went down, when Sam was doing some college visits, we went down to University of Louisville, and they rolled out the red carpet for him. They were really, putting on a great show. The athletic facilities that they had were phenomenal. Yeah. The academic buildings that they had were the same as any other college that you go to.
Right.
So is that money actually being funneled, in what you're saying, to the everyday student, or is it being funneled so they can attract more and more athletes?
Right.
And I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know the answer to that, and I know that that's a debate that probably we could have at another time, because it is very prevalent in football.
Right.
It is, football and basketball are the two most sports that it's the most prevalent in. And
what do you do? What do you do with the Division I athlete that let's use swimming? All right, a Division I swimmer is probably not going to be a household name. I mean, unless they're going to go to the Olympics. That's about the only time you're going to hear about a swimmer. So do we compensate the swimmer? If we're deciding to compensate the basketball player or the football player or even the baseball player, the Division I athlete, do we compensate the skier, the ski meister that is going to go on?
Because their programs aren't making any money.
Right.
They're not making a profit. And the way I see that the compensation should be a way to lessen the kids becoming corrupt. And being corrupt where the boosters are getting involved and they're feeding and buying cars for the kids or sending them on vacations and so on.
Right.
And maybe possibly keeping them in school for another couple of years. And so we're looking at not hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's not right for these, for Zion Williamson, and I don't know Zion Williamson's background as far as how much money he has or anything like that, but let's just say he doesn't have much money. Is it fair that he's generating millions and millions of dollars of revenue for Duke, but he doesn't have enough money to go and order a pizza,
Right.
to bring back to his dorm room.
Right. And under NCAA rules right now, he can't get any money.
Right.
To be able to do that.
Right.
Yep.
And so if we're talking small amounts of money so that they have some just loose change, and so they can go get some pizza.
Sure.
So they can even have a car so they can get some have some access.
Right.
In that case, I think the Division I swimmer should get that money because they're working under the same umbrella. But I could have a different opinion next week on that, so I'm not going to
Sure.
promise you because that's a really tough call on that.
Right.
And
let me just throw this one out to this question. And what if the professional sports world said you need to do, let's put it on, you need to get an undergraduate degree, in order to play at the next level? So what if you said, so let's just use football for example.
Yep.
So you have to play 4 years and earn your degree before you can play in the NFL. I know it's crazy to talk about,
Yep.
but the risk of injury obviously is there. But is that something that could be introduced to help solve this problem?
the name that comes to mind when you just say that is Maurice Claret.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you remember that he sued the NCAA because he wanted to turn professional right away because I believe that he was suspended from Ohio State, and I don't remember exactly the transgression that he did, and he didn't win, and so he kind of lingered, and now he's in jail. I would like to see that happen, but I'm afraid that what would happen is we would create this, like the NBA D League, where we'd create this ulterior league where almost like a semi-pro league that the kids, similar to baseball, that kids can go to college to play baseball, but if they
come right out of high school,
they come right out of high school, they can go pro. So I don't have an answer for it, Charlie. I don't. I think it's a tough decision. And it's a tough problem the NCAA has on trying to figure out what to do with all this money and should the players get a piece of it.
Sure. And in the whole scheme of things, we're talking about a small percentage of people.
Yes.
That are going to go on and play at the next level.
Yep.
So, all right. Celtics?
Yeah, we're going to have to be quick here because we spent some more time on that. The Celtics are inconsistent.
Very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. Currently, they're fifth.
Yep.
They've lost a couple in a row. We got about 10 games left in the regular season. I got a little chippy the other night in Philly. I told you I was excited about the Philly game.
Yep.
And although it didn't work out on the win-loss, it got a little aggressive there.
It did. It was Marcus Smart and
with
Joel
Embiid.
And Joel Embiid right now is playing some phenomenal basketball.
Yeah.
I saw that Philadelphia game as a positive because Philly just went into Milwaukee and beat Milwaukee in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee's the top seed in the East right now. And for the Celtics to come, a couple nights later and take Philadelphia right to the end. Yeah. It could have gone either way at that end. I thought that was actually a good sign, but if I were to bet on a team, it wouldn't be the Celtics right now.
No.
I just don't trust them.
Yeah, it looks like first round they're going to end up with the Pacers because they're, Pacers fourth and fifth. It doesn't matter, fourth seed, fifth seed. Well, I guess it matters for home court advantage for the first round. But it looks like, the Celtics will probably survive the first round, but I don't know what's going to happen after that.
I don't know. They're still a tough team to root for. Gordon Hayward's been out.
Yeah, with the concussion protocol.
Concussed, and he certainly took a good knock.
Yeah.
They're playing decent team ball right now, it seems, but they're still a hard team to root for.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to go with them. I don't, and we've been saying this since January, that they're inconsistent. I love watching Kyrie play. Kyrie's been putting up points. He seems to be playing pretty well right now.
Yes.
But I'm not sure he makes everybody around him better.
Right. And I think going into the last 10 games, we got a 5.5 game lead over the Pistons. So Kyrie's going to rest some of these games. Yeah. And Gordon Hayward, I guess any time is a good time for an injury. It is right now, so that he can get ready for.
Yes and no, because he was starting to play pretty well.
He was playing extremely well.
And the guy that sat out the whole year last year, -5 minutes. So
yeah. But if you're going to get concussed,
now's the time.
Get it done now, and as they go into the playoffs. So obviously, I'm going to continue to root for the Celtics, but I get what you're saying. They're a hard team to root for.
I would like to root for the Celtics.
Yeah.
I would like to root for them. When I do tune in to watch them, I want them to win.
Right.
And what I've stopped doing is listening to any of the post-game interviews.
Okay.
Because those are really frustrating.
Yeah, definitely. Just keep listening to Tommy Heinsohn.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Bruins,
Yeah.
they lost 3 in a row. They had that 19-point streak. They lost 3 in a row, and now they've won a couple in a row against good teams. They're starting to play really good hockey.
Yeah.
Pasternak's back.
Yep. I miss the best. They got the best line right now. Back.
It's. We were watching the game last night. They beat New Jersey, I think. The score was 5-1. It was a pretty close game until the end. And to get an idea of where they're at, the boys came in and said, "Are they on the power play?" I says, "No, they're not on the power play."
Yeah.
When they're playing well, they look like they're on the power play all the time.
It just stays down in the other zone.
And it's puck possession, and the puck possession that they have, and I think that goes to their philosophy from the coaching staff that they're creative, and when they're clicking, they're pretty tough.
Yeah.
And they're fun to watch. And Marchand has become an elite player in the league. Bergeron has been an elite player for a while. Pasternak is, on the cusp of being an elite player if he's not already there. He's pretty young still. And they're getting some great contribution from Char is fighting. 42 years old.
The old man is out there.
And he's out there and he's beating the crap out of these 22-year-olds.
Yeah.
And it's, that's got to be inspirational for the guys on the bench.
Yeah.
They seem to be playing really good, fun hockey. And being a hockey guy, when the team's playing together, it really does spread. And that seems to be where they're at. I think the Bruins have a chance to raise the cup this year.
Yeah.
Can
you imagine?
I'm not going all the way in. I'm not going to make that kind of prediction
So we
yet.
got Red Sox, Patriots, Bruins.
And I think the Bruins have a legitimate shot of raising the cup.
Wow.
And in a couple weeks, I'll make my official call as they get to the end of the
I hear
season.
you.
But
how sweet it is to live in New England.
It really does. It feels so bad for the the Chicagos of the world. And although Chicago won a few hockey titles in the past few years.
Yeah.
But God, I don't know. That was a stat that if you were born in 2005, you've seen like 9 titles in 2005. So
crazy.
It is fun. Red Sox.
Yeah.
They're couple days left in Florida. We talked last week. We talked about them opening up on the road.
Yep.
They've moved Pedroia to an IR to get him a little bit more rest.
Yeah, and just today he said it looks like he's shooting for opening day at Fenway to be his.
I was wondering if that was the plan.
Yes.
Why send him out to Seattle and wherever else they're going to play on that nine game streak?
All
when
West
nobody's going to
Coast.
be watching.
Right.
Maybe it's going to be an uplifting thing for him to open up on the home opener, to be called out there, introduced, and so on. Pedroia is going to, that's going to be good. Core's going with the bigger pitching staff.
Yep, for the start, yeah.
Which makes sense. At the beginning of the year, the arms aren't quite what they are. Your outings are going to be a little bit shorter. You're going to be looking at 5 and 6 inning starts, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
That is, I'm not questioning Core. He pulled all the right strings last year.
Absolutely. We had talked last week. Sandy Leone he's on the trading block.
Yep.
So if we can get a trade for him, that'd be great. If not, then they'll probably see if he's willing to be reassigned.
And big news that I just heard a few minutes ago was that they're talking extension with Sale, and I guess they're pretty close.
That's great. Yeah.
So
we know he's our opening day starter, and an extension will be fantastic.
And it's got to be a number that they, feel good about.
Yeah.
And that Sales feels good about. I mean, there's a lot of fire in there, and he's not as crazy as. Remember the incident in Chicago where he cut up all the uniforms? We don't seem to be seeing that Chris Sale.
No.
He seems to be a good team player, and he likes to play in Boston, and he can play in Boston.
Right.
And, we've seen year after year we bring in these big guys, but they don't do well in Boston.
You talking about David Price?
Well, I mean, it took him 3 years to figure it out.
It did.
Now he's figured it out, and he seems to be a different guy.
Yeah. Which is great.
So that's pretty good.
So March 28th is the magic date, opening up in Seattle, and looking forward to that. You said no one will be watching. I will be watching. So I love a good opening day.
Is it a Friday or a Saturday?
It doesn't matter. Night? I don't know. It's probably going to be a school night. So.
Well, you'll be on your own.
Yeah.
I'll catch the score the next morning.
Sounds good.
The other thing that's happening in MLB is the rule changes.
Okay.
And there's a bunch.
Yes.
There are a bunch, and I know some of them are experimental, and we touched base on a little of them.
Sure.
There's some minor ones like the inning break in between.
Yeah,
I don't
that's like
think
the commercial stuff. And
I mean, I don't think that's going to be noticeable.
No.
Some of these, and help me out, Charlie, and some of these are experimental and some of them are not right now, but the mound visits from 6 to 5, I don't think that's going to be a big deal.
No.
And that one's in place, I believe.
Well, yeah, this is in place for next season.
For next season.
Yeah.
How about the relievers having to face 3 batters?
Yeah, and they're talking that's for next season as well.
Okay, so
they're gonna pitchers must face 3 batters or complete an inning.
Mm-hmm.
So that we started talking a little bit about this, and I still don't know how I feel. I'm a baseball purist. I don't mind 4-hour games, Mike, and I kind of like the fact that. You got a righty up, you want to bring in your lefty. The guy goes in there, throws 3-4 pitches, gets the out, then you have a pitching change. So now if you have mound visit, right, you can only go, if they're reducing mound visits from 6 to 5, and now they're requiring pitchers to face 3 batters. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because if you bring a guy in at the start of the inning and you don't have any outs, they're going to have to face
3 batters.
3 guys.
Right.
So, and that may not be the ideal situation.
Is it require more strategy or less strategy on the manager's part?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's more or less, but what is going to happen to the pitchers that are specialists? I mean, are we going to be saying goodbye to these pitchers? We're going to be looking for people that can pitch to all sorts of different scenarios.
I think you are.
Yeah.
I think that is going to be a byproduct of this. That lefty specialist was probably going to go away. You're going to be looking for. More of the pseudo starter that can go 3 batters, that can get the lefty and the righties out. That's a big change. That is a big change. How about the pitch clock? How do you feel about the pitch clock?
I mean, they've experimented with the pitch clock before. Even at the minor league level, like if you go to a Fisher Cats game or a Sea Dogs game, the pitch clock is fine. Certainly there are certain pitchers out there that just drive you bananas with how long it takes for them to throw a pitch.
David Price?
So David Price, sure. So I think it's good. It's good, but yeah, I don't know. If I'm watching it on TV, Mike, I love the pitch clock. Mm-hmm. If I'm at the game, it's an experience. I'm enjoying myself. I'm having conversations with my buddies. I'm eating a hot dog. I don't care if they take 10 minutes to throw a pitch. I'm immersed and enjoying it. But you're right. If I'm sitting on my couch and it's 1 o'clock in the morning because they're playing on the West Coast, I want a pitch clock.
10 minutes would be kind of aggressive. I don't know if I want to spend 10 minutes in between pitches.
Fair enough.
But I'm all in on the pitch clock.
Yeah.
I want the games to be moving at a pace. I want there to be a pace. It doesn't have to be a fast pace, but I want there to be a pace. And 4-hour Red Sox-Yankees games are fun to watch.
Yeah.
But a 4-game...
For the playoffs.
For the playoffs.
Yes.
But a 4-game series in May, where the game's getting done at 11:30 at night, it's hard. It's hard to just stay into the game when those kinds of numbers. And so I'm all for pace. And the games that we watch... The better games, I think, are the ones that are snapping and moving along, whereas the other ones are the slow ones are tough to watch.
They're lingering, and people are getting bored. So let's see what's going to happen with the clock, whether or not that's going to speed up the game, because they've already experimented with this. So I don't know if it might speed it up a little bit, but is it significant enough? I mean, who knows?
Who knows? But I'm up for some changes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing it.
The only other thing with the pitch clock that I wanted to mention is a lot of times pitchers are going to delay because they know they're going to be pulled. So it's allowing the guy in the bullpen to get warm. So that's, as far as strategy, there's a strategy right there. If you know that you've got one more batter left and this is it, that's been communicated to you, you want to make sure the guy in the bullpen is ready to go. So you're taking a little extra time in between pitches. There might be a catcher's visit, so that's...
There are some things that they can do.
Yeah.
There are some things that they can do to address it, and I think it'll be all for the better. So
we'll see what happens. And then, like we mentioned before, the Atlantic League, they're going to try some different things. They're going to have the robo umpires assisting the human umpires. So, I'm not a fan of that, but I'm excited to see how that's going to work. They already have, when you watch the games on TV, they've got the strike zone there, which drives us.
I like that.
No, I like it, but it drives us all crazy when Angel Hernandez can't call a strike, or and you're like, what do you mean it was right there? So I do like that as well. So.
But I don't want to take away the human element either. So we could talk. I would like to talk more about the electronic strike zone with you.
Love to.
In the future.
Sounds good.
That's about it for us, Charlie. Do you have anything else?
No, you got anything else, Mike?
I don't have anything. So that's going to be it for Mike and the Hoss. Remember to tweet us any questions at Mike and the Hoss. And if you have any sports that you'd like us to talk about, please tweet us at Mike and the Hoss, and we'll try to get you in. Have a good day.
Good night. Go Knights, and thank you to Wolfeboro Community TV.
Go Knights.